Did you always know that you wanted to act eventually?
No, I started acting before I knew I wanted to act. That's the main thing about that. I started acting when I was 8. And I didn't do it because I wanted to be an actor. It was just an activity that was available to me where I lived in a settlement house in Boston. And I didn't live in the settlement house. I lived in Boston, and I started acting in the neighborhood settlement house. And I continued to act until I was around 16 or 17 on an amateur part-time basis. And at that point, I think I decided that I wanted to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So I started making plans in that direction. And I went to, finished high school, went to Boston College for a while, took some drama courses there, and then I moved to California to go to school at the Pasadena Playhouse. And I went to school there for a while, and then I went out and hit the street and started looking for work.
What was the first job that you landed when you knocked on doors?
The very first film job that I did was in a picture called Queen for a Day. It was based on the old radio and TV show Queen for a Day. And shortly after that, I did a lead in a movie. It was a phenomenal stroke of luck getting a part like that. It was a picture called Kid Monk Baroni. And it was one of those things that they made in 9 days, and wasn't about to make a star out of anybody, but it was a very decent little film, and I was very proud, of course, to have that kind of credit at that time. But shortly after that, I went into the service, so that kind of stopped my activities for a while.
How did you land the part of Mr. Spock?
Well, I had worked in a show called The Lieutenant. There was a series called The Lieutenant about 3 or 4 years back, and it was produced by Gene Roddenberry, and I did a part in that, in one of those episodes. And Gene Roddenberry eventually became the creator of Star Trek, and he remembered my work in the Lieutenant series and said that he wanted me for this part. He told my agent, I'm going to put pointed ears on that guy someday in a TV series, in a science fiction series. My agent told me about it, and we laughed and forgot about it. And sure enough, 6 months later, he called me in and said, we're ready to go. And I was terrified because I didn't know anything about the character. I hadn't seen any script. And I thought, well, I just may finish a budding career here by putting on pointed ears. So I really wasn't too sure that this was exactly what I wanted to do. But Gene was very persuasive and showed me the concept of the series, which I thought was very well thought out and very exciting. And the rest is kind of history. We did it. Yeah.
Now, I've seen some of the episodes where things that you do appear to me very dangerous. Do you use a double, or do you actually do those things yourself?
Well, we use doubles in cases where there is a real possibility that somebody might get hurt. It doesn't make much sense for Bill Shatner or myself to be doing that kind of thing, because if we are hurt, then what we're going to do is put 50 or 75 people out of work for a long time. And stop down the company and not be able to produce Star Trek. So we do use doubles in some cases.
Do you think that your pointed ears and Mr. Spock have typed you, or are you ready to break out into something else?
Well, that remains to be seen. It's something that I don't concern myself with. I think that I'm known in Hollywood as a character actor with a pretty wide range, so I'm not really concerned about it. If I were concerned about it, I think it would affect the way that I play Mr. Spock, and I don't want that to happen.